Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm here to give you 5 things which I believe we've learned from the game against Swansea, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Before I go and tell you those 5 things, please drop a like on today's video, comment what you believe you learned from the game, and subscribe if you are new. So we're going to start off by talking about the first thing which we learned from the game against Swansea, and we didn't learn until after the match, and I'm kind of glad that I found out this information after I finished recording my match reaction, because I kind of would have lost it. And I've slept on this bit of information and I still can't get my head around it, and that's one of our best defenders, Teden Mengi. We found out that he needs surgery. He needs to have knee surgery. But Teden Mengi posted on Instagram that he needed knee surgery after the game against Fulham in the Premier League. He was told in May that he needed to have surgery, and he did not have surgery. Either he or the club went against that advice by the surgeon, and he continued to carry on through pre-season and for these like 18-19 games which we've had so far in the Championship. I don't understand the decision making behind that. You cannot go into a 46 game season, which probably ends up being 50 if you include a couple cup games, with a potential injury that could make you miss a large part of the season. You can't go into a season like that. So what delusional person thought that was a good idea for him not to have surgery? Now some may say, oh, it's up to him. That's fine, but the club should stamp some authority there and go, no, you need surgery. It's probably best to have surgery now in May while we haven't started pre-season, and you basically come back after the first 5 games in the Championship. We know he would have been late because knee surgery, the recovery time, it's probably 2 to 3 months. I'm not an expert in that, but it is a large period of time. Rather to do that before the season starts, so a huge chunk of that time is not wasted on league games, and you come back a little bit later than the others. I feel that's really understandable, and you knew Teden was playing through injuries towards the latter points of the Premier League. You can tell he was just fighting through because he was the only fit centre-half. And this is how we've treated one of our best centre-backs, in my opinion. Someone who's got amazing resale value. He's got a knee injury, and it does explain why some of these performances so far this season have been quite poor, because I'm not seeing the same Teden Mengi from the Premier League. And if he's carrying through a massive knock, like a muscle tear, then he needs to get that addressed. I just cannot believe we've allowed this to happen. Our medical department has been absolutely shocking. It has not got better, and I don't want to be disrespectful, and I do want to be positive, but when you're giving me stuff like this, like, come on, like, we've got to be better than this. I just think this is an absolutely horrific decision, and I cannot believe we didn't deal with this before the season. And if we dealt with it before the season, maybe we would have actually got a centre-half in before the season kicked off, and we didn't sign McGuinness as late as we did. We would have probably signed him a lot sooner, or signed someone else a lot sooner. Imagine going into that Burnley game with a centre-back, with 3 centre-halves of Walters, Joe Johnson and Holmes. That would have been all the defenders we had left. Honestly, I'm lost for words on that, and I'm glad I've calmed down a little bit. Honestly, last night I was so angry. But anyway, that's talking point number 1. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be positive. I really am, but come on, I'm laughing at it now, but I just can't believe it. But anyway, talking point number 2. So, with the way Luton like to play, we like to play with 2 target men. We like to play with Morris and Elijah Adebayo. Now, when you play with those 2 types of strikers, the whole point of playing them is so you can put crosses into the box. Now, our style of play at the moment, we're just not doing that. I looked at Hashi and I looked at Moses. How many times did they put the ball into the box, or did it successfully? They're not doing it. When you've got 2 target men like them, they need to be attacking crosses and we're just simply not doing it. When I look at Hashi, he made 3 crosses from right wing back, none was successful. Moses did also 3 crosses, only 1 out of 3 was successful. Straight away that is a problem, because we are a team at the moment that we lack anything going forward. We look very easily predictable at times, and our wing backs are just not pushing forward. And when we won promotion from the Championship and the season before, we were known for having wing backs that were attacking, that were going up and down the pitch, that were able to do the defending side of the game, but also able to contribute going forward, put those crosses into the box. Because if we didn't win the first battle, the likes of like Luke Berry would be on the edge of the box to finish it home, or would be there where the ball drops to, you know, tap it in. That's what we were doing. We were, you know, bullying that defensive box, but we're now not doing that anymore, and we just become so predictable to defend against. And I just don't understand the reason why we're not doing this anymore. Are we being a little bit too cautious because we're struggling to defend? Is the style of play changed so much that we rather create opportunities through the midfield? Lots of question marks surrounding that, in my opinion. But we've learnt that crossing, without Alfie, we're struggling, and that does move me on to Alfie, because without Alfie Doughty, we don't create anything, do we? And I looked at the stats for this, and I looked at the last game Alfie played. He created 5 opportunities against Cardiff, and then he created 2 against Coventry. That's 7 chances in the last 2 games. None of our players are doing those types of numbers. We absolutely miss him massively. And of course, again, medical department allowed him to continue when everyone could see from the stand that he was hopping around on the pitch for 5 minutes. Crazy, crazy decision. And I just can't believe it, really. And if you thought any of the stats which I've mentioned is bad enough, wait until you hear what I've got to say about Carlton Morris. But anyway, with Alfie, we're just missing him. I think we're missing his defensive side of things, and with Amari Bell potentially looking like he hurt himself, hopefully it's not too serious, that he can still play against Stoke. We're playing Victor Moses there, who in my opinion, you're taking away his best qualities by pushing him further back. He should be a lot further forward. For me, right now, it just screams change the formation, because we currently don't have the players at the moment, and I don't think we've ever had the right players at the moment for Rob Edwards to succeed within a certain formation. I just don't think we've got it. I really don't. And I feel like the fundamentals, the foundations which Nathan Jones was building from John Steele are slowly going backwards because of certain decision making from Edwards and his coaching staff, and some decisions which the board have made in terms of recruitment, because I don't think the board have helped Edwards, and I do believe the board have thrown Edwards under the bus a little bit, and that's why they're allowing him to stay in charge, because I feel like they have some responsibility, and they're being that extra loyal towards him because of their mistakes. I think right now we need a massive reset, and we need to do this reset soon, because otherwise this could continue throughout the second half of the season, and it could get really toxic. And right now, although it's bad, I still think if Rob Edwards was to leave Luton, I still think fans will always remember for what he did, rather than for the bad stuff. So, but if he continues to stay, it will get flipped. But anyway, I want to talk about talking point number 4 before we talk about Rob Edwards, which will be my last talking point. So talking point number 4, Carlton Morris. There's no attacking threat from Morris at all, and I don't know why. Morris last time in the Championship was absolutely amazing for us. Scored 20 goals. Even in the Premier League, I thought he was amazing. You know, he really stepped up. But what I'm seeing from him in the Championship so far this season is not good performances. And Elijah at the moment is the only one in our team that seems to be getting these chances. He creates his own opportunities. He's missed a lot of big opportunities. But my questions are always like, well, why is Why is there no one else in our team also getting these opportunities? Why is Morris not getting these big opportunities to score goals? And I looked at another stat. Morris has had 1 shot at goal in the last 3 league games. That is horrific. It don't matter what level you are playing at. Your striker cannot just be having 1 shot at goal across 3 league matches. He had 0 against Leeds and 0 against Swansea. I think that stat is absolutely mind-blowing. I cannot believe it. We play with 2 strikers. We'll wonder why we don't look good going forward when one of our strikers isn't shooting at goal, isn't probably shooting in the right areas. He's probably taking that extra pass, or he's not being in the right place at the right time to have an opportunity. Something needs to be addressed, and I don't think it will be addressed until a complete reset is needed, and that is a new boss. And that leaves me with my last talking point. Edwards, in my opinion, has 1 more game. He has Stoke. We sacked one of the greatest managers in Luton's history in terms of what he did in John Still. He got us out of non-league, he got us to League 2. He was the man that started this amazing journey. He was the reason why we were able to climb up the leagues. Those foundations which he built when we didn't have those in non-league football. If it weren't for him, God forbid where we would be. Probably in League 2, I can imagine. But John Still, what did he do? He eventually got sacked towards the end, and that was after winning only 2 league games in 10 matches. Rob Edwards at the moment has 2 wins from 9 games. So if he loses against Stoke, he will have the same record which John Still had. Now I'm comparing Rob Edwards and John Still because both have done something massive for the football club. Edwards got us Premier League football, John Still got us League 2 football. He got us back into the Football League. Both, of course, you know, you treat whichever achievement as high as you want, but both amazing achievements. That's why I'm comparing the 2. And if we gave John Still those 10 league games, there's no way we should be giving Edwards more than John Still. Also, we've only won 3 out of our last 13 matches. Time is running out, and I personally think we should be sacking him now, but we won't. I do think he will get Stoke, and if that ends in a defeat, we have to cut ties. The last board meeting, the last programme notes with Gary Sweet was apparently meetings have been had. This was before Hull, and good conversations came from it. We've had 1 win, 2 defeats and a draw. If we get another defeat, even a draw's not good enough in my opinion. That's a problem. It's a problem, and it's a problem which the board have got to make, and they've got to make the right decision. I know none of this video was positive. I will try for future videos to be more positive, but I can't. I can only give you what the team's given me. I can't give you more than that. I'm real. I try and look at the good side. Okay, we didn't lose against Swansea. It was a point. Thomas was amazing in goal. I can't give you much more than that. I really can't. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Hopefully things get better. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video, which will be a match preview of the Stoke game.